Good morning all, welcome to a rather windy walk. So today we're heading off to St Aldhelms Head, and then I'll walk around to the kind of the next bay around. Gonna have a little look around St Aldhelms Chapel. Really old, very tiny little church, no electric, no nothing, perched right up on the cliff top. So we're gonna have a look at that as well. It's pretty blustery up here, I've got to say, but it's not raining. There's little glimpses of blue sky, so everything is positive in the world. So this walk's about 4.5 miles. Takes in St Aldhelms Head, which is one of the high points on the southwest coast path in Dorset. There's a Coast Guard station up there, and like I said earlier, a really tiny little, really quite cute old church, which we'll have a little look in. We're then going to wander around to Chapmans Pool, probably descend off the top of the hill, follow the little tracks down to the pool, and then wander back up again. So like I said, about 4.5 miles, circular route, which is what I prefer because I don't like double backing on myself. And hopefully lots to see on the way. So just up on top of the hill, all the way up there, is where the Coast Guard station and the chapel are. So that is where we're heading. We've got to go past a little quarry to get there. It's all closed off. It's not like the ones we visited in Winspit and Dancing Ledge. It's a proper working quarry still, so probably best we don't go in there. Do you know what? There's nothing better than being outside. I know it's February, I know it's blustery, it's a bit grey, it's a bit kind of bleh, but it's fresh air after a week at work. It's just nice to get outside. It's not stale, it's just the perfect remedy for a normal working week. So if you don't do it, give it a go. It's never going to hurt. You can make it as long or as short as you want, and just enjoy the outdoors. It's amazing what you'll see. So there's the quarry. So completely hidden. Unless you actually come up and look over the wall here, there's no way you'd see this just from the path alone. Got a massive cutting machine down there for actually cutting rock up, but you can see how much they managed to get out. I don't know how much longer it's got left, but yeah, quite impressive. Right, let's carry on. So there's the church. So probably the least place you'd expect to find it when you look at what's around. Literally, it couldn't be any further up on top of the hill if you tried. It's absolutely amazing. Really old. Like I say, no electric, no lights. Really good refuge, I'd imagine, for people that maybe get themselves caught up here. But you can go in, it's open permanently. I don't even know if there's a door. So let's go and have a look. There we go. That's absolutely incredible, amazing. It's called St Aldhelms Chapel. But they still do services here as well. I think there's a few a year, but from what I understand, it all gets lit up. You can see they've got candelabras, so everything gets lit up with candlelight. You can sit on the little pews, and everyone's sitting down at the back here, listening to a service. And look at that roof. So yeah, amazing place, absolutely amazing. I've only been here a couple of times, but yeah, very impressive. One little window. So there we go. So St Aldhelms Chapel. Don't know what it says, if there is anything around when it opens. 800 years old. There's a parish church and chapel. So yeah. Right. So let's move on. So we'll head down to the Coast Guard station. So being one of the highest points, it makes absolute sense, obviously, to have a Coast Guard lookout centre. And I'll show you the view from the top. You can see all the way around to where we were last week, which was round to Dancing Ledge. And then this is where we actually join up with the coast path again. And this is the Dorset coast path, well, the southwest coast path and the Dorset part of it. I don't actually know if the Coast Guard station's open today. It looks very locked up now, all the shutters are down. And there you go. This is now right on top of the coast path. I've even got windscreen wipers on top of the windows. Look at that. And another little chair. I'm not so sure I'm looking forward to this bit. That's a long way down to come back up the other side. And it's very slippery. And coming down there, all the way back up there, and then across the top and into that cove, that pool over there. Right, here we go. Well, that was hard work. Absolutely out of breath now. Tell you what there is though, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a kestrel there just hovering. There we are, there's the view backwards. Absolutely gorgeous, but that was quite a climb. Right, onto the pool. Isn't this fantastic? Huge waves breaking in. Relatively clear sky. Well, it's grey, but it's not as wet as it normally is. And then a path that takes you all the way along. And ultimately, if you keep walking, you end up in Cornwall. But I won't be going that far today. So the only problem with paths like this is you don't see much scenery because you've got to keep looking at your feet to make sure you don't go flying. I mean, look at the state of this. Thank God for gaiters. We've got another sign. So Chapmans Pool Only 1/3 of a mile. Back to the car park, turn right. But this is the sign that worries me. When you've got a sign that says hill bottom 3/4 of a mile. That means that's a hill to come back up again as well. Oh well, let's do it. You can see just how wet it's been, and we've got basically landslides here crossing the path. So it's a lot of mud and just strewn its way down. Hopefully we can get past it without, well, not being swept away, because that's highly unlikely, but without having to walk through all the mud. You can see where it's come from. Right, let's get past this. It's pretty much pure clay. Right, we're through. So this is Chapmans Pool. There's a whole host of little fisherman's cottage down there. You can see just how low we are by back up the hill there. And if we carry on wandering down, we're just all dotted along. Very quaint. And see there's a winch there to actually winch the boat up. Two relatively new ones there, and one with a big log burner. And then this is Chapmans Pool. It was really popular in the summer. People coming down, kind of paddleboarding and stuff like that. But you can see there, got a tiny little slipway. That one's even got a decking. It's all the way through, completely enclosed, and then into the big rolling waves. Somebody's built a swing. And there we go. That's Chapmans Pool. So just made it back to the car in time for it to absolutely start pouring down. So really pleased about that. Fantastic walk, well worth doing, highly recommended. It's quite a hard one. There's some quite steep hills there. So if it is one that you fancy doing, basically you park at Worthma Travers, you walk to St Aldhelms Head and St Aldhelms Chapel, and then follow the coast path along until you get to Chapmans Pool, and then you can take a shortcut back to the car park, back across the fields. So absolutely recommended, but like I say, not that easy a walk. That's it for this week, so thank you so much for coming with me again, and I will see you soon. Thanks for now.